Devan, good afternoon to you and welcome back.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes, in fact, we didn't had a yesterday's session because I was out of station for some urgent work. But yesterday's session will be accommodating in future. Means I would say this will be in continuation. We'll wait for another 1 minute's time, not more than that, and immediately we'll start. Okay.
Right.
It's fine. Good afternoon to all and welcome back for one more session on startups. Right? We all have gone through almost 5 sessions, and today what I am going to take, as usual, what we do is I am just going to share. Just a second. Yeah, I'm just going to share the class notes because this class notes. Just a moment. Class note will give us an idea of exactly what we are going to talk, and you will also get an idea of what exactly you need to study pertaining to this module 1. Today we are going back to module 1. In fact, we tried to cover this thing in our earlier session. This 2 module we tried to cover it almost entirely. Only the last portion of unit 6 is remaining a bit. This can be done afterwards because that is I would say very simple in nature, because we all are doing this presentation part and we know how to be innovative when it comes to presentation, how to stand out from other, so that the audience notices us and audience follows us whatever we say. I'm talking about the target audience, right? So let me take you directly to the unit 1. So this is lean, and this is the class note I prepared. Today what I'm going to discuss is lean startup. In fact, this is a philosophy, this is a concept which originated way back in 1960. I'll be coming to the history also in brief. And we are going to discuss on this only today, lean startup. Right? I'll be discussing on few books that are available on this lean startup. In fact, there is one good book written by Barrick Rice, right? He is a famous author who has written this book on lean startup. I will come into that book also. And this is what I have given in the PPT as well as in the study material. These are the lean 5 principles which explain what exactly lean stands for. Because see, lean as a concept is related to manufacturing. It basically originated with manufacturing, especially with automobile. Toyota is the company which started working on it, and after in form of Six Sigma, Motorola also started did the same thing with the same philosophy. This all history is given over here. Toyota production system, they introduced it in the 1940s and then 1970-50, right? So this is all about Lean Six Sigma, and this is important. Why I'm showing this class note, the forms of waste. I have tried to inculcate this in our PPT also. Basically 7 types of waste. Few books will tell you 7, few books will talk about 8. In fact, in my PPT I have introduced 8 waste. But there are, apart from this 8 waste, there are more waste which has been listed out here also. Right? It is entirely up to what sort of enterprise you are running, what sort of products you are manufacturing. It will determine what sort of waste you are producing, more in number, larger in number, which waste to concentrate more on. And so these are the again MCQs, as I said. Only 5 I have given, and the bold one are the answer keys. Right? So this is all about the class note. Let us directly move to the concept. See, before I start, again I would like to show you a 2 minutes video which will again clarify most of the doubts, and then we can jump to our PPT. Right? Let me take you to the videos which will talk about lean as a concept. It's a 90-second video, not more than that. And after that, we'll be talking about on the book. Just a minute. I have to stop sharing first of all. Yes. Yes. And just let me know if the audio is properly
Thinking of expanding. That's great, but let's say your business is doing well and you're thinking of expanding. That's great, but it's also the riskiest time for your business. In fact, many businesses don't survive the transition. Should you throw money at the problem by investing in new equipment or hiring more people? Should you make your staff work more overtime? Your answers to questions
Just put on the captions also.
like this.
Let us do it
That's
from
great, but it's also the riskiest time for your business. In fact, many businesses don't survive the transition. Should you throw money at the problem by investing in new equipment or hiring more people? Should you make your staff work more overtime? Your answers to questions like these can make or break your business. And that's where Lean comes in. Lean is a philosophy about delivering value from your customer's perspective, eliminating waste, and continuously improving your processes. Lean can radically change the way you do business. Lean management is based on 4 principles. The first principle is pull. Rather than producing as much as possible, customer demand pulls goods or services through the manufacturing process. This minimizes overproduction, inventory, and ultimately working capital. The second is one-piece flow. Focusing on one single piece at a time minimizes work in progress, process interruptions, lead and waiting time, while increasing quality and flexibility. The third is tact. It's the heartbeat of a lean system. It's how fast you need to manufacture a product to meet customer demand. Tact allows us to balance work content, achieve a continuous flow, and respond flexibly to changes in the marketplace. And the fourth is zero defects. Mistakes happen, but a lean company doesn't pass on defects. Mistakes from previous steps must be fixed before going on. Combined with a robust continuous improvement process, the 4 principles of lean management will help your company stay ahead of the competition in a constantly changing marketplace. So, if you're ready to begin your lean journey, contact us today. Let us show you how lean can bring out the best in your business.
So that is all about the first video. I hope you have followed this video. It's very simple. The fundamentals are very simple, that there has to be continuous improvement, right? You have to minimize waste, and you have to bring value addition to your customers, right? And so our today's topic is lean startups. See, lean startup, in fact, lean is placed in front of startup, but all manufacturing or for that matter, all service industries nowadays has adopted this philosophy of Lean Six Sigma. I have deliberately added Six Sigma because both the philosophy are complementary in nature, and they support this concept of continuous improvement and detecting the error, right? Prevention is better, right? It believes on the philosophy that prevention is always better than cure. So it's better to find out the defect, right? Instead of then innovating the entire thing, right? So beforehand, if you are able to detect the defect, then further losses can be stopped. This is a very simple philosophy, and most of the professional organizations, including Amazon, including SDFC, talking about Indian giants, including Wipro, you talk about all sort of automobiles, leading automobile organization, they all have adopted. And I have tried to make this concept very simple. Today what I am going to discuss is one of the case study of Amazon. How this Amazon, since because see this company, even though it is one of the largest company, one of the topmost company in e-commerce, but somewhere down the line they started as a startup only, way back in 1996, and they adopted this philosophy in the year somewhere around 2000, and after that they have grown like anything. In fact, they have surpassed the projection which the industry made for them, or they made for themselves, and they stood out to be the largest. In fact, they have uprooted a big giant like Alibaba, which belongs to China. Now they have their global presence, and they are catering to almost all segments of the society. Right? So this we will try to learn this philosophy through Amazon, but I'll be talking about some theoretical aspects also. Right? So before we again move ahead, see, this is what, as I said, I'm going to discuss, and deliberately I have given name to this is Industrial Revolution 4.0. We all know the three revolutions, Industrial Revolution, which took place earlier. Like we have what? First, it was like steel revolution. You can talk about, right? Then agriculture revolution and digital revolution, and now it is all AI, artificial intelligence, or you can say machine to machine learning is what is happening nowadays, and we are part and parcel of it. Even though we may not be directly involved, but as a customer we are party to it, right? So again, before going further, lean startup, there is one wonderful video which I want you to take a look. After that we'll go to our PPT. Okay. The book is by Eric Rice, and
It's a great startup.
and in fact, this is a recommended book for anybody who would like to learn how to start a new venture, a new enterprise, a new startup, and this particular video talks about that only. It's a summary, in fact. It will give you a summary of the entire book, but it is advised that you go through this book. And talking about books, you can refer to entrepreneurship development, whatever books are there, good Indian author books are there. Single, one of the author is Single, I do not know the publisher, but plenty of book on entrepreneurship development is there. I think one book is by Sharma, so you can just search it on Amazon also, it's available. You will not purchase it because you'll be getting a study material from our college. Okay, so we'll take a look at this. It's a bit long video, I'll try to cut it short so that we can have a further discussion on this.
Myth of our time. If you only have determination, brilliance, great timing, and above all, a great product, you too can achieve fame and
Yes.
It's a great startup myth of our time. If you only have determination, brilliance, great timing, and above all, a great product, you too can achieve fame and fortune. A related misconception is that ideas are precious. Generally, people hesitate to reveal their ideas in public, even among friends. There's this nagging fear that someone can steal the idea from you. Please. Sorry, but an idea is never that great. I will bet my right arm that during a lifetime, the average person has at least 20 awesome ideas that could be turned into commercialized and successful startups. And that's even when removing Elon Musk from the sample, which otherwise would have skewed the average upward by a disproportionate amount. The issue is not ideas, determination, brilliance, or great timing even. It's execution. We will now look at 5 advice regarding the creation of a successful business from the lean startup that the multi-successful entrepreneur Eric Ries has written. Takeaway number 1, the build, measure, learn feedback loop. Planning and forecasting are only useful when your operations of business have been rather stable and where the environment is static. Startups have neither of these. Planning for several months and releasing a product only after many thousands of hours of perfecting it is a game of very high stakes. What if you build something that nobody wants, anyways? Many entrepreneurs have realized this, and as a consequence, they take the approach of the opposite side of the spectrum. If you can't plan, then they think that you can only operate in chaos. So they adopt the just do it strategy instead. Nike might be correct when they tell you to put on your running shoes and just do it. But in building a successful startup, this plan is usually flawed. So what can we do instead? The solution is the build, measure, learn feedback loop. Too much planning makes the process rigid and very risky. Just doing it tends to turn everything into chaos. Quickly going through cycles in the build, measure, learn feedback loop is the solution. The goal of a startup is to figure out the right thing to build that customers want and will pay for as quickly as possible. We must be able to quickly kill off that which doesn't make sense and double down on that which does. Although the order of the actions in the build, measure, learn framework is, well, build, measure, learn, the planning happens backwards. We must first figure out what we want to learn. We can do this by forming hypotheses. Here are a few examples. Commuters want to be able to order food from their cars. People are willing to assemble their own furniture at home. People are willing to pay monthly for being able to stream unlimited music online. In hindsight, these hypotheses seem trivial, but before these companies proved them right, they weren't. After formulating these hypotheses that your startup revolves around, it's time to validate or reject them, which is our next takeaway. Takeaway number 2. Everything is a grand experiment. Okay. So learning as quickly as possible about your customers' needs and willingness to pay for your product is important. But how can you do this empirically? The answer is experiments. Experiments are run together with real or potential clients. The common denominator among the successful ways of experimenting is this: observe, don't ask. Customers usually don't even know what they want. But if you show them a product and they are interested, well done, then you just gain some validated learning. First, we should always ask ourselves, do we even have to build anything at all? An experiment can be as simple as setting up a landing page, stating that you have a product that can do something, say improving your chances of getting a match on Tinder by 500%, driving some traffic to the site through Google AdWords, and then seeing how many people that would sign up for it. At other times, we must be more rigorous and develop a so-called MVP, which is short for Minimum Viable Product. In lean production, a concept that originally stems from Japanese car manufacturers, waste is defined as something that doesn't create value for the customers of the company. In lean startup, waste is defined in another way. Everything that doesn't lead to validated learning is waste. This is the reason why it's called a minimum viable product. It should only contain the features of utter importance, and it shouldn't be polished any more than what's absolutely necessary for us to prove or reject our hypothesis. If you are embarrassed releasing the product to your potential customers, you are on the right track. Takeaway number 3. Different types of MVPs. There are many different types of MVPs that can be constructed in order to learn what solves the problems of customers and what they're...
Yes, I think we'll see the remaining video afterwards, because you might not follow the entire concept. Eric Ries, right? He is the author for this particular lean startup, and this is a major, one of the component, not major, it's from unit 1, and there is mentioned lean startup, but it is a philosophy which has to be studied in detail. Right? No, I've stopped it. Yeah, I have stopped it. Deliberately I've stopped it. I think, yeah. I have stopped it because further video will see at the last, because first of all, let me clear the concept. See, why I have shown you the video is so that you just get an idea of what exactly we are going to discuss. Lean, all of you must have seen the video right now, right? So lean is all about what? Lean is about continuous improvement. It doesn't wait for the defect to happen. It, in fact, it will try to find out the place where the defect is going to take place, so that further defect can be avoided, and so that unnecessary the waste product, I mean say defective product. See, again, zero defect is one of the philosophy which is attached to lean. It believes in that there should be how much in a million items if they are produced, there should not be more than 3.4% of the item which has to be defective, right? So it's a very small number, and which is as good as zero defects. That's why Lean Six Sigma is also called as zero defect manufacturing, where utmost care is taken that no item is manufactured with a defect, right? And for that there are certain philosophy which has to be adopted. See, it's a philosophy, it is not a technology, or it is not a tool in itself. It's a philosophy which has to be inculcated in all the stakeholders, including the employees, including the suppliers, vendors, creditors, directly or indirectly, whoever is related, not the customers, because customers are not party to Lean Six Sigma. In fact, they are the beneficiaries, right? They are the person who are going to get the benefit out of it. But people who are directly or indirectly related to the manufacturing of goods or services, they are the stakeholders, and they have to be included in this philosophy. They have to be trained, they have to be polished on this. This philosophy should very well go down in them. They should adopt to this philosophy. Then only this concept of lean startup. See, lean startup and Lean Six Sigma concept is one and the same only. Why we are talking startup? Because here our focus is primarily on new enterprise, right? New ventures. The lean startup is being used, but the lean philosophy remains same, no matter if it is a startup or even if it is a organization which is already performing, right? Somebody who is not adopted it can adopt it later on also. It is not at all required that it has to be incorporated only at the time of the venture, the beginning, right? The start point of your enterprise, right? So this is how Amazon. The question is how Amazon has incorporated Six Sigma. In fact, it is Lean Six Sigma in their workplace. Here is the title, right? And why this particular case study? Because Amazon has proved themselves right from a flop. In fact, they started by selling books. I hope all of you are aware about the history. I'll tell you in brief also that they started because this internet was on its it was very premature at that time. It was on just the introduction level, and the CEO of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, he found out an opportunity that why not to explore this internet to sell books. So let me take you to this slide where we'll have something on Amazon. See, Amazon is just an example. This can be applied to lot many organizations. Same, yeah. Jeffrey Bezos, right? Jeff Bezos is also famously known for. So they in fact they started ever since beginning life has an online bookstore. They started as an online bookstore. They were selling only books, and slowly they keep on expanding. Once they start getting the success, they ventured into almost all products, not manufacturing but selling it. And in fact now they have ventured into manufacturing of few of the electronics products also, like Alexa is a good example, right? Then AWS, that is Amazon Web Services, it's their unique product which is offering cloud-based services to lot many organizations, including the US military. In fact, they are so secure that US military's data is also stored on their server. And not only this, most of the professional company, they find it comfortable using this AWS, instead of investing their own fund and money into this into this cloud manufacturing. Right? Excuse me for a second. Yes, sorry for the break. So, Ananta, are you following me? What I'm saying up till now? Because see, it's a bit of tech, not yeah, not very technical, but this was the philosophy. Lean philosophy, as I said, is originated from Japan with the company Toyota, an automobile manufacturer. And why there was a need to adopt to this? Because to meet the demand and to come out with the superior product compared to the competitors. and to eliminate waste. That was the basic purpose. See, if you are able to eliminate waste, I'll go to that also. If you are able to eliminate the waste, yeah, so this is also called as steamwoods in short form. Muda, it is called in Japanese language, it's called as Muda. See, the core theme of our today's presentation is this only. Lean talks about all these things. What are the probable waste? And this lean, as I said, started with the manufacturing sector. Toyota from Japan, then it went to Motorola in Europe, right? They adopted, they based on this particular philosophy, they come out with something called as Six Sigma, which is zero defect. And lean talks about continuous improvement. But both the philosophy are overlapping in nature. They have common objective, common goal, and if you mix them together, you come out with such a unique concept and thing, which will definitely give you lead. Forget about the competition, but your product will be definitely much cheaper and much quality based compared to what you were doing earlier. See, it's competing with yourself only, because the problem with this waste lies with you only. It is not with something with the competitors, and that is what Amazon is following. Amazon, their primary focus is on customer. Let us go back to our theme, right? So Amazon, as I said, they are least concerned. See, these are the companies like General Electric, 3M, which are into power generation, then hotels and all sort of sectors they have expanded. And this has been done by one of the largest and most successful e-commerce company, which is nothing but Amazon. So this is the trademark which shows that it's a smiley logo, sort of, right? Smiley, right? And what does it represent? It represents a delighted customer. So why I have given this logo here is because their primary focus is on the customer. They are customer-centric company. They are least concerned with the competitors. See, जो competitor का है, they are not at all bothered, I would say. Their focus is internal, because Lean Sigma itself says that you need to concentrate on your weaknesses, your waste. Here, weakness, they don't use word as weakness, but as a waste, right? I hope I am being followed, Devang and Ananta.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So this philosophy, if we learn, we can inculcate it in our day-to-day life also, in our offices, everywhere it can be implemented. And in fact, knowingly, unknowingly, we all are doing it also. बहुत बार अपने को पता नहीं चलता है. Like for example, I'll give you a very small example. If my habit is forgetting the keys, if I come back from the office and usually I throw away my bag, I put my cloth on one hook or wherever in a cupboard, and I put keys somewhere, right? In the morning again going back, or I put my daily routine diary somewhere, and every day I face the same problem. Getting up, I have to search for the key, or many a time we have to search for the mobile, but tracking mobile is easy, we all know that. Keys are many a time problem, right? Many time we go without key outside, and then we find out in our pocket that the keys are missing. So how to find a solution? The solution can be simple. It is through practice. If you make it a habit, practice and habit of putting or tagging your key on a particular tag, right? On a wall, you can hang a tag and you can just tag it around. your key. जैसे आप अंदर जाते हो, if you put the key and every day you make it a practice, then probably there is hardly any chance. There is hardly any chance that you will miss out putting the key and taking the key back again while going out, right? So this is a very small and day-to-day example, but in manufacturing sector or even in service sector, the problems are more complicated than what I have quoted right now. So this is what Six Sigma talks about, and which is similar to the philosophy of Lean. Six Sigma process is one in which 99.99966% of all opportunities to produce some features of a part are statistically expected to be free of defect. That means that it is also called as defects per million opportunities. That means million opportunities can be goods or products. Like serving one customer can be one opportunity. Likewise, in a 1 million opportunity, you have to be this much perfect. 99.9 is almost 100%, I would say, right? Hardly 3.4 defects per million. That is very, very negligible. I'm going to say that can be overlooked also. It won't burden on the customer care. Why I'm saying this? If you come out with really good services and products, then probably you will spend less on the customer complaint, solving customer grievances, than putting a dedicated team to take care of all these defectives. So that energy you can spend on manufacturing again more superior products, so that you have all products which have a consistency, which have the committed quality, and which gives value to the customers. So this is what is the philosophy of Lean Six Sigma. Introduction to Lean Six Sigma. And what I was talking, see, this PPT I'll be sharing. I won't be reading out each and everything. As I said, Motorola adopted this. Bill Smith was the engineer behind it in JE, right? He was CEO. Jack was CEO. You can just go through it. These are the 5 principles, but I'll be more concerned because see, this talks Six Sigma is more concerned with manufacturing, and as I said, we're going to talk more on lean, right? And most of the philosophy, as I said, are similar in nature. Deliberately I have included Six Sigma so that you can just go through the PPT while studying and just let me know. So see, here it is also there. Eliminate variation to improve processes. So nothing but elimination of waste. Focus on customer. That is again the philosophy of lean. Primary focus should be always on customer instead of the competitors. Competitors will automatically go away if you are really able to satisfy the customer to their delight, right? So consistent and practical approach to reap the profitable results involves a strong problem solving team. This is all, and this is the methodology. I won't go it because this is more of an operation part. I won't go to it, but you can always study it out, so that if somebody is really interested in doing a startup or an enterprise, they can adopt its technology. See, this is related to DMAIC. DIMAC it is also called as, and DMAD B, which is this is related to manufacturing part, and this is related to more of a controlling part. I'm going to say once the good goes to the customer. See, here it is mentioned. The complementary side of Six Sigma process that is most applicable to examine and improving the customer relationship side of the company. This is more inclined when the product reaches to the customer, and this is more inclined on producing or manufacturing the product. Most applicable to the manufacturing side of a product or a service, right? So this too I won't go into detail, and it's very simple. Define, measure, analyze. This is what the first video was saying. They were talking about only 3 things, but here define, measure, analyze, design, and verify. This is what the first video was talking about, right? This is more in detail, and this is what is needed, right? This is what Amazon is doing. These are various charts, quality control charts. Again, not needed to be discussed out here because this can be studied later on. Six Sigma barriers, again not needed. Sig belt is needed by people who are going to sort out this problem. In fact, if we study this philosophy in detail, then you can claim yourself as a white belt, right? You can get it certified through various exams which are available online also. You have to register and you have to solve their test, for which you need not do any class as such. All you need to do is understand the structure and goals of Lean Six Sigma. That is what is needed, right? So again, I'll skip this part. Yes, here we can start talking about what is Lean. See, Lean, as you know, Lean itself means lean, which is Lean is something which is slim, right? Which is not very heavy, which can be easily worked upon, right? Not very hard, not very rigid. And Lean is simple. This is what the philosophy said. Many people find it that it may be very technical or very complicated in nature, but case is not that. In fact, it is a philosophy if it is adopted. And let me take you to the Amazon, how they have done it. After that we'll come to this West. Amazon, yeah, here it is. You see, the last slide talks about Amazon and their adoption on. See, this is how they have adopted this Lean. Lean practice has become a formal procedure at Amazon. In fact, they have adopted it as a formal. In fact, right from the new recruitments, they want this philosophy to be adopted by each and everybody, right? Each and all of their employees. So the first philosophy is crazy about customers. See, obsessed. Customer obsession is the word they use. You need to be continuously obsessed with your customer, what exactly they want. And see, in first video, as it was said, customer many times do not know what exactly they want. I think it was in second video. You have to observe them. You cannot always ask for reviews and feedback. Many a time they might not respond also. In fact, they wanted to say something, but they are not able to put in words, or maybe they are reluctant, or maybe they don't have time. The reason can be anything. So you need to have a vigilant eye, so that you exactly can pinpoint exactly what is the customer looking out for. And that is what Amazon is doing for so many years, tracking down the data, right? Storing all those data through what? Through their subscription of Prime, Amazon videos and all this. See, they have sufficient data available, and all that is needed is to convert that data into information and use that information properly, so as to and through AI, they have adopted the AI, that is artificial intelligence, to a very large extent, which is coming very handy for them to make quick decisions. And this is because the data which is available with them. So customer, as I said, has to be primary focus for all. See, forget about Amazon. It has to be the primary focus for any organization instead of competitors. Competitors, you should never be bothered. This is what the Amazon philosophy says. Don't see what competitors are doing. Focus within yourself, right? Focus on yourself. See your limitations. Find out your weaknesses. See how you can delight the customer. Professional long-term thinkers. See, what they want is, they want their board members, the decision makers to be professional and long-term thinkers. They don't want short-term results. And there are plenty of examples with Amazon. See, whenever they want to venture into any new territory, they'll start with the penetrating prices. The pricing will be so low, they'll offer so much of discount and everything. Probably for 1 year, 2 years, or even for 3 years, they are ready to bear the losses. Right? Nuksan hua to chalega, but they want to reach out to each and every customers, and this is what they have done with their Prime videos. They have done with WAS services, that is Amazon Web Services, and plenty of other services. And that is why they have almost achieved a monopolistic market in most of the part of the globe. Then passionate for invention. This is what they are very keen on. And see, this is the basic principle of any startup. You have to be very passionate for invention. You have to try out each and everything. Lean and Amazon believe in empowering employees to bring new ideas as often as possible. See, the idea may fail many a time, right? They may not succeed all the time. Very few may succeed. But Amazon believe that you have to empower the employees and try to work on these new ideas time again and again, and committed to operational efficiency. This is where Lean Six Sigma comes into picture. In fact, this is also philosophy of Lean Six Sigma. What we have discussed just now, this also belongs to Lean Six Sigma. So committed to operational excellencies. What is that? It is to provide real value to the customers. Everyone in the company must be committed. It's a cultural matter, and here is where Kaizen is again one of the philosophy of Lean, right? Is most effective. Kaizen is nothing but continuous improvement. This is what Lean talks about. Kaizen is again a Japanese word. It's talk about continuous improvement. And see perfection. If you really want to achieve perfection, that is 100% perfection, which is not exactly possible, because certain defects maybe in a million is going to occur. But if you want to achieve that perfection, then you have to continuously keep on improving, right? You cannot stop that process. कि चलो मैंने अभी इतना % अचीव कर लिया, I have achieved 95, so I'll focus on marketing, I'll focus on competitors, what they are doing. So that won't do. In fact, your inclination has to be always within, right? Introspective. You have to be very introspective in nature when it comes to Lean Six Sigma. And hiring the best and the brightest. This is what they are doing right from the start. They want the best of the best employees and they want this common Six Sigma tactics to be inculcated in these trainees. Whatever employees they are going to take, they train them all on this thing, and their employees are 6 belt Six Sigma, which they want their employees to be holder of the highest belt, that is black belt, right, which is said to be the highest. I will take you the belt also. Champion is the topmost, but if we talk about belts, here it is. Black belt, which is usually said to be the highest, but if you are holding a black belt and you are leading a team, it becomes master black belt, and if you have done many projects, then you become a champion. So this is what the belt talks about, and they are keen to see that everybody achieved at least black belt, even if they are not working on multiple projects, even they are not champion. This philosophy they want to be inculcated, they want it to be practiced, they want it to be adopted as a form of life, right? So this is how Amazon has adopted it, and this is how they have grown. As I said, 2004 they adopted this, and this is how they have started growing. This is a figure I got till 2020, and it's all because of this philosophy they have adopted. They have made very minor changes in terms of their process. They have not changed their equipment, they have not changed their tools. All they have changed is the philosophy of how to serve, how to fit yourself into that organization, and what should be your philosophy, what should be your mission for the organization, and what should be your objectives. It can be day-to-day objective, it can be short-term as well as long-term objectives. So I hope I'm clear up till now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
See, anything that comes to your mind, because I do not know, means both of you belong, in fact Devang belong to engineering background, so he must be well versed with this. But anyway, if you, Ananta, if you come across any technical word which you feel is not being followed, you please let me know.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So let us come to this very important slide. No, see, this is the core. This is the crux of the story of Lean, right? This is what Lean talks about. Eliminate this waste, right? Other wastes which are again overlapping, I have given here in the class note. I have deliberately not given it in the in our PPT, because they may vary. They may vary based on your venture, they may vary based on your enterprise, based on the service you are providing, and based on the product or goods, right? So what are those remaining? Yeah, these are the 7 are mentioned, but I have mentioned 8, because 8 I will tell you what is the weight. And this is the waste of knowledge is nothing but waste of talent. You are recruited somebody, but you are not able to identify the exact liking of that person and the hidden talent which is there. Maybe somebody is good, maybe somebody is very creative in nature. So accordingly, if you are able to allocate the work, so he will be more productive than giving him something very mechanical, which may not suit him, right? So these are more or less overlapping, but you can take it separately if it requires more attention, any of it, right? So let us move back to our slide. So what is transportation weight? Transportation waste, moving atom or information. Now, can any of you just quote me an example? What can be a transportation waste? There are plenty of day to day. See, I don't know what industry example.
Village.
Arranging of cartons whereby there is a space which is not utilized.
Space.
The space in the particular container or etc.
Damage.
It is not optimum utilized.
Okay. Yes, Devang. Yeah. I followed you, Ananta. Yes, Devang.
Damage of goods, time lags.
Okay. Time
Damage
lags.
of goods,
Time
time
lags.
lags.
Yeah. Yes, I'll take
Time
it.
lags.
Yeah, both of you give the correct thing. Ananta has said what? Empty containers. Devang, you said that.
In the container, in 20 cubic or 28 cubic container, if they are not arranged properly, it's thereby leading to
Proper.
gap in the particular slot.
Exactly.
It is not utilized.
Improper design of transportation module. If you are an engineer
Right.
in operational research, there is a module called the transportation module.
Right.
In that module, you design as to where the warehouses are supposed to be located, so the optimum amount of time is saved. So when the transportation module is designed wrong, everything goes for a toss. I mean, there can be spillage and loss.
Exactly. Excellent. See, optimal. You have used that word. The route has to be optimal in nature, right? So as you consume less fuel as well as less time, right? And you reach the destination at the see if there is a traffic jam, then you have to make it out that see, for example, milk, for example, right? Let us take an example of milk. We want milk early in the morning, maybe 6 o'clock, maybe earlier than that, or maybe 7 o'clock, right? That is the usual time where all the household would expect the milk to be delivered at their doorstep. Most of we order that way, right? And what if all of a sudden there is what? There is a lockdown, which happened a few months back, right? A year back, I would say. And there was a problem in transportation. Afterwards, government permitted this essential to be delivered, but there were delays, right? And what if there is all of a sudden a strike in between, chakka jam jo bolte, somebody has blocked the road, right? So if the milk is reaching at my doorstep after 10 o'clock or maybe in the afternoon, then it is not adding any value to me, right? Even though as a manufacturer is trying his level best to reach out to me, they tried the optimal route, right? Taking into account the constraint or the resistance that was there, right? So transportation model is a good example which can always be applied and which has to be applied if you really want to eliminate this waste. But in terms of contingencies, right, in terms of emergencies, you have to see to it. See, this is the philosophy. You have to get it very clear, right? You have to see to it that the unnecessary burden of this waste should not be passed on to the customer. That is the basic behind this philosophy, right? There has to be value addition to the customer. Customer should not be paying for unnecessary waste, right? कि भाई मुझे ज़्यादा पेट्रोल लग गया, I've started because there was a jam, I have to travel all across the city and deliver it to you. Now give me 10 rupees more on this product because I've traveled so much. See, that should not be that is none of the concern of the customer. In fact, as a manufacturer or as a marketer or supplier, that cost has to be borne by the person who has taken the contract, right? So as a customer, I should get value for my money. I should not be bothered about bearing the waste, the value of the waste, right? जो भी खर्चा इस पे हो रहा है, same goes to inventory. Again, can we quote an example? Inventory. As a customer, I should not be paying for the inventory, and what that inventory can be. See, inventory
Yeah,
order.
just in time, sir. Just in
Just in
time.
time, yeah. See, whatever is required, for example, the simple example is you order online anything, not necessarily from Amazon. It can be through Flipkart, it can be through this basket. You order it and you see to it, it is going to be delivered in 2 days time, right? So if I feel that 2 days I can wait, then okay. Otherwise, I'll probably search for another e-commerce company which can deliver, or I can put another option of fast delivery, a day delivery, right? So inventory is unnecessarily blocking my money. If I've already paid online, then I should not be paying for that. And if it is being delivered, see, if it is there, I've that product is booked in my name, but it is being delivered to me 2 days afterwards. Something which is related to transportation only, but it is there as an inventory being stocked, right? It is being stacked somewhere, which is not received by the customer, right? So he or she should not be held accountable, even if the manufacturer order for the raw material and the raw material doesn't come on time, so they have to hold on the manufacturing. Now ultimately it is going to the cost is going to be borne by the manufacturer, but that should not be passed on to the customer कि हमने तो ऑर्डर किया था, हमको इतना महंगा गिर गया, right? But what about the competitors? They have already arranged for the inventory. So all these values, see, it is all about value for the customer. Whatever customer perceives the value of the product, he or she should get it. उससे ज़्यादा रहा तो फिर then your lean concept altogether will fail. So similarly, motion is one excessive movement within a workplace, right? What can be done? What can be that? Like moving of a file from one table to another, from similarly from that table to another, then back to that table. So you have to find out again something related to transportation, but at a micro level, where transportation is transferring of bulk goods most of the time. Motion is something repetitive work, right? Same thing, like if I ask you to draft one letter, and same letter is being drafted by another colleague, knowingly unknowingly, that order goes to him also. It is repetition, sort of repetition of the motion. Both the colleagues, or both the what you call them, both the admin are doing the same work. So that motion has again to be stopped. Similarly with waiting. Waiting is what? As a customer, I should be having the minimum amount of waiting time. It can be waiting if I go to a doctor and then I am asked to sit in a lobby because I have booked my appointment, and if I'm kept waiting, my appointment is at 2 o'clock and I kept waiting for till 3, then that is waste of my time, right? As a customer, when I said the doctor has given 2 o'clock appointment, ideally I should get 2 o'clock appointment with him. So same thing applies to these goods and services, all goods and services. It can be waiting for information, right? You have asked that my product has not been delivered, for example. Yeah, I have written my product, I have not received the exchange product. I have asked for some other product. So the case can be anything. So whatever waiting time is being committed by the manufacturer or the marketer has to be strict, right? They have to follow that schedule. They cannot divert from that. So waiting time has to be minimum. It can be waiting time for the manufacturing as well. कि raw material order किया है and the manufacturer particular workshop is waiting for the product, the raw material, so that they can start with the product, actual product. So the waiting is equally applicable to customer. It is equally applicable to the line, the transition line in between, right from the raw material till the product reaches to the end user or the consumer. So waiting is also very important. Over processing, doing more work than necessary. What can be that? Anybody? Over processing and over production is more. It looks more like the same, but there is a difference.
Over processing means doing the same process over and over again, spending too much time on the process. For example, there are certain parts that can be easily eliminated because they are not necessary. For example, transportation of goods from one place to another via a third place.
Right.
Okay, the process can be reduced immediately by going it from A to B instead of A to C instead of going from A to B to C. I know it overlaps with motion, but processing is to reduce the time of the process.
Yeah, see, I would say you're a bit close. See, first of all, over-processing and over-production may look like something similar, but over-processing is something, see what? The customer has demanded what? For example, let us take an example of what? It can be, for example, you can take example of clothing, for example, right? Jeans, जो अपना ये apparel आते हैं, हाँ? If they have asked for such and such thickness of jeans have typical what you call it as जो cloth आता है वो thickness में vary होता है, right? So if you have asked for that, and if the if the customer, if the client or the manufacturer is providing over finished product, कि मैंने तो इतना ही डिमांड किया था and I am being provided something more than that, which is good from the customer point of view, but at a time customer do not require it, right? कि मुझे प्रोडक्ट चाहिए कल 12 बजे, if I am very overzealed with the order, I deliver it today itself. Customer को तो कल चाहिए था, he was not requiring it today. For example, flowers can be a good example, right? I've asked because tomorrow is the wedding anniversary of so and so couple in my apartment, so I want to order the flowers for tomorrow, and over processing can be something trying to do it so fast that I'll deliver it today only, and it won't be of any help to me, right? This is something which goes with over processing, and over production is something stacking up the inventory कि आगे बहुत ज़्यादा लगने वाला है. हाँ, pardon me? Volume, exactly. So you have to be very clear with your projection, how much demand is going to be there in future. All you can maintain is a buffer stock, but you should not be overproducing, because that will stay idle for most of the time, and your funds will get stuck up. It will get invested in that inventory, and it will you never know how much time it will require to get it realized, right? कब बेचे जाएंगे आपको पता ही नहीं चलेगा. So over processing is something which is not required. This customer says I never demanded it. Maybe कोई customer को अच्छा लगे कि चलो मैंने तो सस्ता कपड़ा मंगा था, मुझे तो अच्छा मिल गया. But if it comes to like perishable goods, as I said, flowers, it may be all nonsense. The customer will throw away that product. कि I wanted the flowers tomorrow. For example, cake, right? It can be anything. It goes with all perishable product. For example, milk, as I said, morning में आना चाहिए था और दोपहर में लाके दे रहा है कोई, तो what is use of it to me? I have used the milk powder which was available at my home, right? That is not over processing. In fact, it is something opposite of over processing. Milk is an example, but processing the order very fast and doing it so efficiently well that what customer want, you are not satisfied, you are not concerned with that. You are more you are more there with your more proud of your the system which you have implemented, or you are more involved in to deliver more and more, right? That should not be always the case, right? You have to take into account what exactly the customer wants. That is what I mean, right? And defects are very simple. I hope you have followed the difference between over processing and over production.
Yes, sir. Yes.
See, over processing is but a bit difficult to understand. But this, you can remember this flower as an example. Or as simple in putting in simple word, you have to deliver what the customer exactly wants. Nothing more, nothing less. Simple as that. बहुत ज़्यादा दे दोगे तो हो सकता है customer may be happy, but many a time it won't go with all the products, right? कोई एक पे एक चीज़ आप फ्री दे दोगे तो fine, nobody will deny it. You have asked for what 1 GB RAM and 2 GB RAM, and I'm giving you 4. Fine, everybody will be happy. With the same price, if I'm getting double, but it may not very well go with all the products. The example I have already given, right? Defects. Now, what are defects? Defects are mistakes and error that need to be reworked. Now, what can be example of defects? Can anybody quote the examples? Plenty of them are.
Product defects, sir. Product defects is one of them.
Right, good.
Product defects is one of them, and design defects is another one of them.
Right.
The last could be bottleneck, process defects.
Process defects, right? So these are all defects. It can be human errors also. It can be due to human errors, right? It can be machine errors also at a time. Many times it may happen because machines are not aligned the way it has to be. That's why the things have gone wrong. So defects are very simple. Anything which is the standard which the manufacturer has committed to be delivered. It can be a defect in length, it can be a physical defect, right, in terms of length, width, height, dimension defect, I would say. It can be a technical defect, like I've ordered a mobile and it is not working properly. I'm not able to put a speaker on it, right? Speaker phone, I cannot talk. It can be anything. It's related to technical. So plenty of defect may arise, maybe due to machine or maybe due to human. So that has to be again eliminated before it reach out. See, again the philosophy is, before all this thing reach out to the customer, it has to be identified, it has to be curtailed, it has to be stopped, and it has to be seen to it that this product do not reaches to the customer. In case if they reaches out, you have to recall it. There are plenty of examples which we have seen in automobile industry. That automobile player, for example, Ford have called back all their cars which were earlier sold. Same has happened with other giant also, right? It has happened with Tatas, it has happened with Toyota also. The few defects were detected afterwards. So this creates a lot of discontent among the customers, dissatisfaction, and which may lead to ultimately going down your goodwill in the market. So if you want to really preserve it, it has to be, you can stop the production for that matter if you identify the defect. This is what the lean philosophy says. If you find something immediately, and this is what the video was showing me, right? You stop the production. First of all, eliminate the defect, right? And then start with the production. And this has to be in a continuous improvement process. It is a continuous thing which can never stop because production, all of you know, is a continuous process, right? It is based on demand, but this lean philosophy is forever, 365 days, 24/7. You have to work on it, right? And skills, how can this be based? Not using workers to their full of ability. I've quoted you. Somebody is having some talent, a good talent, like somebody is good in computers. Maybe you recruited him for something like doing what? Maybe another job, another profile. So as a recruiter, you should be able to identify the skills of your worker, right? And allot them. This is more of HR work. And that's why this is the seventh thing which is added. Earlier, it was not given that much of importance because all this thing were more related to the manufacturing side, right? Rather than soft skills were not that much of concern because all this waste were related to manufacturing and machine for that purpose. The machine-man interaction. And skills, now when we talk about skills, when we talk about service industry and where this philosophy is being adopted, skills are very much important nowadays. Apart from all this thing, all team woods में का S नहीं था पहले, it was team wood only. So skills have now become very important and you should be able to identify both soft skill as well as hard skills, whatever your employees are having, and accordingly explore them, accordingly utilize those skills so that you get the maximum benefit out of the same investment. So this is, I think, all for today. We'll have further discussion because this is a very broad philosophy and plenty of things. See, again, 5 principles of leans we'll be discussing. Is more or less whatever we have discussed. We'll be going into detail. This is the lean temple. It is also called as delivery time, supply chain, processes. We'll be discussing this also, and how this we combine. See, lean is speed, as I said, and Six Sigma is zero defect, that is accuracy. This is continuous improvement. Lean speed. Lean talks about, right? and but the basic objective is better delivery, better quality, satisfied employees and satisfied customer. This is the theme behind this, both the philosophies, and if they are combined together, they complement each other, right? So we'll be going into detail of this tomorrow. I hope I'm being followed for today.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Thank you so much. And we'll meet tomorrow again. I do have a lecture tomorrow at the same time. Okay. So thank you so much, both of you, and goodbye and take care.